Alright, in this video tip we're going to show you how to clean up a model beyond the basic model cleanup. This is when you have a little more issues. And we're going to import model here, and we're going to import a step model. And I want to make a point here. Most of your cleanup problems are going to be with Unused models and step models. The native files, like from SolidWorks and so on, they're going to be less headaches, and they usually import pretty well. So let's go here. Let's pick our step model. Let's pick this problem part right here. Okay. So the import settings, I take the defaults, and we're going to hit OK. Alrighty. And my model is in. We're going to zoom in. And it looks all fine and dandy. You can see on this particular hole they have some a tapered surface. But what we're going to do is we're going to clean up this model first. So we're going to go to Advanced. We're going to clean up model for unfolding. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, just like normal with this function that I've shown in previous videos, I'm going to select a reference plane, which I usually pick the biggest flat surface. So I'm going to click on that. And again, it's going to want to try to enter a piece of material with a bend deduction. I prefer not to do this. I prefer to use what's in my library. So hit cancel on that. All right. So it cleaned up fine. Okay. But you may notice we're going to leave our tool here. We're going to go into bending. And you get this error. So you ask yourself, well, I cleaned up fine, didn't give me an error. Why am I getting this problem? Okay, probably because it cleaned up the majority of it, but there's some stragglers hanging behind that it can't do anything with. So I'm going to hit OK here. We're going to go in and look at this a little more closer. You'll notice after we cleaned it, it looks a little different. You'll notice that taper isn't there anymore. Okay, for whatever reason, when these things translate and they clean it up, it's going to make the base hole, but it may not do your chamfer or other little details. So the problem on this one is that little surface for the taper that's not a part of this model, and it doesn't know what to do with it. Okay, well, I spotted these by eye, so that was pretty easy to figure out. You know, just because of this, the way this looks, we were able to tell it was a problem. But sometimes when you can't see everything, there is another alternative here when we're using our cleaning tool. Okay, we'll turn this clean up model for unfolding again, but instead of selecting the surface, we're going to go interactive here. Okay, and you'll notice something. It took the thickness off for the model when I did this, but it also left those that one surface that's not being used. You can still see it. But the main thing I want to point out here is this new dialog box opens up. Okay, and this is to help find more problematic areas, like if your part has louvers, you know, formed items, dimples or what have you. Obviously the software can't recognize that, so we identify formed regions here, and it'll remove those but leave some markers indicating where those formed regions are. But so this is used for finding a variety of things, and in our case, entities that aren't being used, copies, duplicate surfaces, things like that. If I hit this button here, marked all unused entities, it's going to highlight all those problematic areas for me. See that? So with all those highlighted, we can just delete them. Okay, and it does give me some tools over here. It says I can delete selections, toggle selection. Okay, relocate selected if you wanted to take them out but not dump them. I'm going to delete them. Okay, so those little problem guys are gone now. Okay, and I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to turn, whoops, wrong button. We're going to turn thickness back on. We're going to look at our model again. You can see how much more normal it looks. So the fact that we lost the taper on this isn't critical, because we're just trying to form this, and the locations are still in place. So okay, so now it's good. So now if we go to our bending tab, we go in with no problem. It gives me a sequence, so we're looking good. So let me just go back here and go back to clean up model. I wanted to point something else out. Let's go back to interactive. There's a lot that this can do. there's a good section in the help files. Let's go over to them. In the Metacam help, under index, do a type in clean, and you're going to find this. Okay. Clean models, clean up model for unfolding. This goes into some pretty fine detail on how you can clean up models. It's pretty useful. My example is real basic, but there's a bit of trial and error with this, depending on your models that you're getting. For simple ones like we just did, it's a piece of cake. This isn't hard to use, but this will help you identify a lot of these problem issues. So I highly recommend, if you get into a situation, review this, especially at the time you're having the problem. It'll help you get it figured out. Okay, so let's go back here. So you see here, this is all it needed. We'll close that box. Just find those little stray pieces and get rid of them, and then you'll be able to bend. Okay, so that's it for this video. Well, stay tuned for more. Thanks. Bye.